How's it going, Starseekers? My name's Luke and welcome back to another 30 minutes to buy video, the series where I play a game for around 30 minutes to an hour, summarise the premise of its gameplay for you, and then based on my experience let you know whether or not I would actually recommend buying the game. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a game called Lucid Cycle, and this one's currently available on Steam for around £3, but of course, this being the Switch version, you're going to have to cough up double that, with it costing around £6.29 on the UK Switch eShop. Now Lucid Cycle is a bit of a strange one, and its eShop screenshots don't really shed much light on the game, but it's essentially a walking simulator with a few elements from other genres thrown in for good measure, and while the eShop description does provide a little bit of an insight into what you can expect, I would say that it is a little bit inaccurate, and I'll get onto why I think this shortly. Now upon first starting the game, you're dropped into your first dream, a serene looking wooded area full of trees, gigantic mushrooms and whoever the hell this is, and your objective here is to simply walk your way through it until you find something of interest, which in this instance is a cave containing a scribbled on bit of paper. Upon exiting the cave we find that night has fallen and a bunch of glowing animals have come out to play, and we once more have to make our way back to the start of the area to find an exit portal leading to the next dream. Now, as is often the case with real life dreams, the dreams in Lucid Cycle are all pretty surreal, making very little sense at all, and each of them presents you with a task to complete before you can move on to the next dream. This could involve something as simple as just walking through the dream, with some dreams having mazes for you to solve or objects that you must avoid touching. Others may see you searching for items in the dream or shooting glowing balls of light at things, and there are also a couple of platforming sections, like this one where you need to jump between these train carriages, but overall the objectives are all pretty straightforward, and while there are a few puzzles to solve here and there, you shouldn't really have any real issues with these. Now every so often you'll actually wake up from your dreams and end up in an apartment, and here you'll find a friendly cat, a not so friendly cube whose AI is a bit of a bitch and attempts to explain your dreams to you, and a canvas whose painting you slowly complete throughout the course of the game. There's also a minigame you can play in this area which isn't all that fun, but other than that it's void of anything interesting, and after a spot of painting, you then return to your bed for more dreaming. Now there is some decent variety to these dreams, and although this series is called 30 minutes to buy, I actually ended up playing the whole way through the game, which took me around an hour and a half. In general, gameplay is as the eShop describes it, soothing and casual, which is in part thanks to the soundtrack which features some nice ambient electronica tracks. However, there are several levels which did get on my tits a little, namely the ones which, contrary to what the eShop says, you could actually fail at. Now the first of these was that aforementioned platforming level where the low gravity makes it tricky to judge your landings, but worst of all were the levels where you had to avoid touching or looking at certain objects, as failing to do so caused the screen to freeze up before sending you back to the start. On the whole though, I can't deny that I was intrigued to see what each of the next dreams had to offer, and while I can't say that there was anything particularly clever or inspiring about any of the dreams, for the most part the developer has done a good job at keeping the variety going with them. Now on the visual front, the eShop description promises a journey through a series of beautifully crafted ethereal scenarios, though to be quite honest, very few of them were actually beautiful, and I speculate that none of the elements which went into creating them were actually crafted by the developer themselves. Now that's not me trying to discredit the work that has gone into creating the game itself, but you see 99% of the game appears to be comprised of store-bought assets which have been hodgepodged together to create the surreal dream environments, but the texture resolution and art styles of these assets are often very different, and while I do think this adds to the overall strangeness of the dreams, there are very few of them that I would actually call beautiful, and most of them are really lacking when it comes to finesse and polish. Now if you've been watching the channel for a while, you may be familiar with my asset flip warning videos and my disdain for those who comprise the games entirely of assets, but in this instance, the developer's creativeness shines through, and they haven't just taken a game template and published it on the Switch as is usually the case. As I played through the game, I actually had quite a lot of fun trying to spot assets that I'd seen used before in other games, and a few of the standout ones for me were firstly the city environment that was also used in Drunken Fist, a game that I previously reviewed on the channel, and secondly this untextured gas station, which is almost certainly the same one found in the spider extermination game, Kill It With Fire. So overall, I didn't think Lucid Cycle was a bad little game, though it most certainly won't be for everyone. Considering its price on Steam, I would also say that the Switch version is a little overpriced for the content that's on offer, which leads me to sit on the fence with this one, but if you're looking for something a little different to kill an hour or so with, then you may want to consider picking up Lucid Cycle if you ever see it on sale. And so that about does it for this 30 minutes to buy review of Lucid Cycle on the Nintendo Switch. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the game in the comments section below, and as always, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please consider doing so. For now though, I just want to thank you all once again for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.